It's always cool to get the train. Train's leaving town. And look at that, the train has such beautiful decorations on it. You know, you gotta be talented to decorate it. It's cool. Norfolk Southern. Yep, now this is Augusta, but I tried one time to get on with the Norfolk Southern. I gotta hold my phone down. Hopefully I won't get in trouble. In Augusta, you can't be on the phone. But yeah, Norfolk Southern, man, I tried to get on with them and I fell off the train. I was in Georgia, in Macon, and I went to McDougal, I think it's close to Atlanta. And they had, they were paying for us to be in a hotel room and gave us a voucher for food. And they kept switching the schedule. Like we started like 5 o'clock at night, our training, then we break off, and the next day we came in at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and they kept rotating the training. They wanted to get you used to the railroad, because the railroad, you wasn't going to work a set schedule. You know, you had to have so many hours downtime, kind of like truck driving, the DOT. So they wanted to get you used to, pretty much you just work. So all you're going to do is work and rest, and if you work overtime, you had to have a sign-in list and get called and all that stuff. But they paid you like a regular 8-hour day was, depending on what you did, if you was on a route. If I remember correctly, I might be wrong, but it was like, I think 180 miles or 160 miles was considered 8 hours. But in that 8 hours, you had to stop at businesses and everything and pick up their cars and put them with your train. And I never got to do all that, but just what they were telling me. But they had a test. I had to go through a background test and a physical and hearing test. But then when you get to the actual going to school and you're in the room, then they have you're not moving, but they have a rail car, and you had to climb up on their little ladder and hold on with one hand, and you have a lantern in your other hand, and they want you to give signals, because you got to be able to give a certain signal in order for the conductor to see in case he needs to stop the train or, within a timely manner. But they said I fell off, and I didn't realize it when I worked the job when I was younger. I got kind of carpal tunnel, but I didn't have surgery. I just kind of did some, not medical advice, but kind of squeezed the pressure point, and it got better where it didn't bother me. But when I was trying to hold on to the rail car, I did it almost to where I'd slipped, and plus this guy, he gave me these tight gloves, and I have bigger hands, and he wouldn't let me wear my gloves, and wearing those tight gloves, I couldn't hold on. And then I heard my daughter, my daughter wasn't there, but she was there where we moved to the little apartment. I had to get a little lease, and I heard her saying, "Daddy's not here no more," in a conversation we'd had. So yeah, it was probably a mental thing, but then after I fell, it kind of made me feel like, I hit the ground, which I did, and I felt hands trying to slow me down, but they weren't going to stop me after I fell. And then they had one that was on about 6 inches off the ground for people who were kind of scared of heights, and I couldn't do that one either. But at least if you fell, you can put your feet down to keep from hitting the ground. But yeah, man, just seeing the train today, it's kind of reminded me of jobs, trying to get. And the way they did it is a Comfort Inn. I stayed in the inn, and they had like 160 people that were allowed to come take this test. And all during the day, they'd look at you or look at your resume, and they cut people. And I made it, they needed 8 people for that. So I had about 180 people. You get down to 8, and then you had 8 alternates. Well, I ended up, one of the 8 didn't work out, so I ended up being an alternate, and I'd come all this way and got a chance. But then after that, they said I could try again, but I didn't try again after I failed. I figured, well, might not meant to be. And so a lot of jobs I try and I want to go and thinking it's a good thing, but I believe it's not meant to be. A lot of times I believe the Lord just keeps me from getting it, saying, I think I know what I need to do, but then He knows better. And I say, hey, keep me from hurting myself by doing something stupid or something I can't do, or something that would have been bad to be around somebody, or anything. But I took this job down here where we're living at now. When I come down here, I went through an apprenticeship for maintenance multi-skilled technician. And the little church we was going to at the time said, well, sometimes that's what the devil will do. He'll hold out a carrot and you think it's a good deal, and he'll lead you astray like a horse. So, after I lost the job, I said, well, maybe he was right. But then after my wife had all her health problems and my son's problems and, certain issues, and then my daughter meeting her husband down here, so it's probably meant that we come down here. It just ended up being kind of weird. So you never know. You're going to end up, well, at least me, I'm where I'm meant to be, and now I feel like not going anywhere. I feel like I'm meant to be in this area. So I'm all right. I don't need much. Be happy. Food in my belly. I want to be healthy and be able to spend time with family. Be able to drive, have food on the table, roof over my head, have my family and me be healthy. That's all I ask. Be able to pay bills. I'm happy. But yeah, seeing that train day just kind of brought back a bunch of memories about trying to get a job as a conductor, and then after a year you would have had to go to engineer. And another thing that's so funny, you made it this far, congratulations. Another thing that was so funny is they give you a bag for your serious business. If you had to use the restroom, and they started giving people certain bags, or they wrote their name on it, because certain people would, out on the train, they would take those bags and use them as target practice on some of the signs, and they kind of upset the boss. So then they put their name on it, and they did that again, they'd probably fire them. But yeah, it's a union. When I was in training, you didn't have to work overtime because it's a union. So these guys could have flipped the switch. I don't know exactly what happened. So outside the sun trying to shine in the thing from behind me. But these guys are supposed to flip a switch, are supposed to do something, and because they're union, they was able to quit. Well, the train come and didn't go the way of the switch, so it ended up running off the tracks. Killing a bunch of people. And then I ended up moving to that area. So that is so strange. Where a train wreck was. And I moved in at the height of the housing prices back in 2006, right before they crashed. So I bought a house, wasn't worth anything. That's kind of weird. But anyway, it's all better now. I'm doing great. Got to go pick up a dryer. Oven today. My mom said when you start losing it, you won't know it. So I kind of know it, but then I'll get to where I don't know it. But yeah, thought that's so cool. And we'll talk at you later. Thank you for watching.